Hello and welcome back to Irish Red Devils podcast. It's a couple of days after the disaster that was Monday night, and I think we're all feeling a bit more refreshed and a bit more optimistic, at least refreshed anyway. But hopefully, we'll see what we can do. But we're right back into it. One game a week, fair enough, but we actually have two games this week, so at least we don't have to wait that long, lads. This Sunday, is it Saturday? Sunday. This Sunday, we're travelling to London to take on Crystal Palace. And I'm joining the studio here tonight, as always, by my co-host, Gags, Madman Martial, and Killian, the football genius. And joining us as well tonight, all the way from Dublin, I believe. Is it Dublin, Nate?
It is indeed, yeah.
Yeah. Is a resident, well, I suppose, can you call him a resident if it's his first time on the show? Yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Our resident Crystal Palace fan from Dublin, Nate, who I believe, Nate, you're part of the official Irish Crystal Palace Supporters Club?
Yes, we are officially recognised by the football club.
And where are you from? Are you Irish or?
So I'm actually originally from London. My father's from this country, and my mother's family are from the West Indies. So
Okay.
I'm of Caribbean descent on my mum's side and Irish descent on my father's side.
Okay. And how did you get supporting then Crystal Palace?
Well, to give you the too long didn't read summary of that, basically my first game as a football fan was at Selhurst Park. It was the Division 1 playoff semi-final against Charlton Athletic. So it was a South London derby. Couldn't have picked a better game to go to. And I got bitten by the Palace bug, so to speak. You know, obviously it was my first time at a football game. It wasn't the prettiest of football. It wasn't the prettiest of times to be a Crystal Palace fan, but my choices were Palace, Charlton or Millwall, and I just could never picture myself going to a Millwall game. It just, couldn't do that. I mean, it's bad enough being neighbours with them, let alone actually supporting them. So, yeah, unfortunately for me, I got stuck supporting Palace until 2025, where it all worked out in the end.
Cool. And would you have been there now? I'm not sure if you can see behind me here, but just can you see behind me? There's a.
I can see.
Well, I don't think
somebody's in the background.
Yeah, well, if you can see his legs, those are the legs of a Mr. Eric Cantona, who had a very interesting moment at Crystal Palace many years ago.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
Did. Well, I wasn't actually. I believe I was about not even 2 years old when that happened. So probably a bit too early for me. But
you've just made me feel really old.
I mean, look, Cantona did what he did, but I mean, let's be fair. You're not that club anymore, so we won't live too much in the past. You sound like Liverpool fans here, lads.
All right.
Hey, listen.
Let's
you
go.
want to throw my dagger at me? I'm going to throw it back at you. All right, fair is fair.
Yeah, I don't have my David Beckham jersey hanging up here tonight either. He had another good moment at Selhurst Park.
Oh, come on, skip the time machine. Where's the Memphis Depay jersey? You know what I'm saying? Live closer to this time, not way back when you were on top. Come on.
Well, it's more nicer actually to be back there, but no, we'll bring forward to today. Fair enough. So, well, I think like we're going into this weekend's game.
Mm-hmm.
So I see there. I was just looking up there. So as you were saying there before we came on air, you actually have a European game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
In Strasbourg, is that right?
Yeah, we're away to Strasbourg.
Very good. And so I was looking there. 64 hours later, you're kicking off against United. So there's be absolutely no excuses for United. You know, we keep hearing, the players were tired and things like this here. I don't think any United fans understand how players are tired whenever they're playing one game a week. Actually, you were saying there as well just before we came on about how we're getting used to playing one game a week, and so you would have experienced this before. But did you ever find Palace players are turned up and the manager ever said like they're tired in games after playing one game a week?
So look, I've always found that when you don't have the so-called distraction of European football, and bear in mind this is our first time in Europe, so I'm completely new to this, playing on, knowing I'm playing in midweek and whatnot. I understand if Manchester United fans are looking at it thinking, how are the players tired and all of that, but this is a new scenario for you to be in because I think the last time you'd not been in Europe was long before. I can't remember the last time, to be
I
honest.
think about 6 years ago, maybe there was one year under Mourinho.
2014.
Oh,
It
was
was,
it?
it was
That we
Van Gaal,
weren't.
I'm pretty sure.
It was Van Gaal.
Yeah.
Okay,
That we
yeah,
weren't in Europe at all.
yeah.
It was Van Gaal's first season.
Okay.
Oh wow. So yeah, I mean, what I would say is, like, normally when, let's say, for example, we're about to play you on a Sunday because you're in the Europa League, for example, or the Champions League, whichever, and we to play you on the Sunday. I'm sat there thinking it's a good time to play these because Europe does take it out of your players. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think we played a European game before we played Everton. I think it was Everton. I can't remember exactly. No, sorry, it was Liverpool. And I was worried that playing Dinamo Kiev and then playing Liverpool in quick succession was going to catch up with us, but it didn't. So I would say if I'm a Manchester United fan, it is a good time to play Crystal Palace in regards to our fixtures. But the recent form between the two clubs, you're thinking this is a game that you probably can't walk into too confident because I think out of the last 10 results, we've only lost twice to Manchester United. And again, I'm not trying to tempt fate, but looking at the stats, it's like we've won more games against United than we've lost. That's crazy for me to even think that because I used to dread playing Manchester United. Now I'm like, yeah, that should be a decent result. So it's a double-edged sword because on the one hand, I don't want to think that we can't screw up against you because Europe could take it out of us. But if I'm a Manchester United fan, I'm thinking, look, just try and right the wrongs of that Everton result because that was a horrendous result from a Manchester United point of view.
And the thing about Palace, correct me if I'm wrong, your squad depth, you probably you can't do that much rotation. You're going full on for the Conference League. You'll probably play your main team tomorrow night. Glasner will probably not be able to rest anybody.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a big bugbear because obviously the whole Europa League debacle and Nottingham Forest and all that other stuff, that played a part in us not being able to bring players in. But also, Steve Parish is famous for talking big things for Crystal Palace on taking the club to the next level. And to a degree, he did deliver on that. But we're all sat there saying, Steve, deliver on squad depth. We needed a left back ages ago. This is even before Borna Sosa came in the summer. We still haven't replaced Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I mean, yes, Daniel Munoz has been an absolutely phenomenal buy for what we bought him for, but I'm still sat there thinking, like, we still have Nathaniel Klein in 2025. Like, I love Nathaniel Klein. He was a fantastic player for us back in the Championship, but it's not the Championship days anymore. Like we really should have been looking at either blooding through another academy player like Wan-Bissaka, which we kind of done with Rio Cardines, but we're still saying we haven't replaced Wan-Bissaka. Okay, granted, people could say Munoz is that replacement, but people are looking at Munoz now, which I'm all for. I've said if bigger clubs want our players, it's a sign that what we're doing is working. Because I was told to worry when we sold Elise. We signed Ismail Assar. I was told to worry when we signed Abere Eze. We've signed Jeremy Pino. I'm not worried when we sell players now. I'm like, let them go. We'll always find players that can improve us. I mean, we sold Elise for something like 50 odd million, bought him for 8 million, signed Eze for 16, sold him for 60.
Yeah, it's good
So
business.
I'm
Yeah.
not worried about I'm not worried about selling key players anymore. I'm like, no, we're not that club anymore. We're going to have to sell players. It's what you are when you're where we are in the food chain. But
Uh,
I worry about our squad depth in Europe for sure. For sure.
It is mad. I was watching the first half of Bayern Munich Arsenal there tonight, and Eze and Olise both playing against each other, and just thinking, only a couple of years ago they were both at Selhurst Park playing together. So two amazing talents, but
Well,
they were
to see the Champions League to official X account shout our club out with that eagle emoji.
yeah,
The Brighton fans were going absolutely crazy about it. They're like, "Why are you shouting them out? They don't play for them anymore." They're not celebrating Lewis Dunk's European heritage. We've developed two Champions League level talents. You're still saying that Lewis Dunk should get in the England team. I know as Irish fans you don't care about that, but these are the levels we're contending with where Brighton fans keep reminding us about how great they are. But
yeah.
to see Eze and Elise on that big stage tonight, I'm proud of them. It hurts me that we've sold them, but yeah. Eze gave me the best moment of my life so far, so I can't really hate him for it. Although I was thinking, why doesn't it surprise me he scored his first goal against us? Why does it not surprise me? But it was a hell of a strike. I can't lie.
Well, I was looking there as well. So this, speaking of people performing well against you, Dean Henderson has been a good pickup for you as well in nets. And I was looking there. So United have never, with him in nets against Palace, we've never beaten them with him in nets. And actually, Henderson has never conceded a goal against United when he's playing for Crystal Palace, which is mad. Like, so I was just looking, I was wondering how that worked. But if you see there on the screen, guys, so against Crystal, whenever we beat them in the League Cup third round, Henderson got injured before any of the goals went in, and then Crystal Palace 4-0, Crystal Palace 0-0, or was it 0-0 draw, and then 2-0 last game there, which I believe both of you guys were at.
We were at that game.
Yeah. And do you want to tell the story? Like, so I think we said this before we came on air. The Killian's brother, Lucas, is obviously not here tonight because he's the one member of the family who's not a Man United fan. He's actually a Crystal Palace fan somehow. And so they were going to. Can I tell the story?
Yeah.
So they had tickets last year and to go to the United Crystal Palace game at Old Trafford. And I knew about this in advance. And can I say it? Yeah, his mother didn't know, but there was he was able to swap his ticket, and Lucas was able to go over to the Crystal Palace fan. So the guys have a video. We must hook that video out. Actually, maybe put this up. I think these were in the Alex Ferguson stand, were you?
Yeah, sort of between that and Stratford End, sort of turn a wee
And
bit.
they were zoomed in at Lucas in the middle of the Crystal Palace fans celebrating. So he was delighted that he was able to get in there, and he didn't have to hide it. In the United section, like?
Well, for me, that was probably the worst United game I've been to in my life, so I don't remember that one too fondly anyway.
Yeah, it was a terrible game. But again, Palace schooled us again that day. You definitely have had the boogie. You've been the boogie team in recent years first. And Selhurst Park's never been an easy place to go to.
Nope.
I mean, it's one of the grounds. I've never been to it, but I always loved the look of it. It's like old school. It's such a class ground. So look, I'm always looking forward to United going there. So it'll be interesting
And
to
then
be watching.
they've got the home seal fanatics too, which
yeah,
a good atmosphere as well.
Yeah, the atmosphere always seems to be really, really good there.
Wasn't there a time where Crystal Palace were maybe coming to Belfast, or was that Wimbledon whenever they were at Selhurst Park?
No, that was Wimbledon.
That was Wimbledon.
Yeah, they were talking about them coming to Dublin, I think, and all sorts of things. But yeah.
So basically, when they went into money troubles, they wanted to move Wimbledon to Dublin so that they would have a team that could pretty much steal all the League of Ireland supporters to support a team in Ireland. And the people of Wimbledon hated it because any talk of them leaving Wimbledon was just unthinkable. Obviously, it happened, and that team in Milton Keynes became a thing.
Yeah.
But Ryanair were like backing it, saying, we'll fly fans over for the game, and that is that. It's bad enough getting a Ryanair flight to go to a game as it is for a home game, let alone go into a Wimbledon game in Dublin. So, I mean, to see where AFC Wimbledon are now and where Milton Keynes, MK Dons are now, it's like, somehow I'm not against that, But, look, you mentioned that we've been a bogey team for you lately, but, a lot of Crystal Palace fans of a certain age will remember, not so much the early Premier League years because we were pretty much a yo-yo club. First season we got relegated. Then I think it was 94, 95 we got relegated, 97, 98 relegated, 04, 05 relegated. So we were never a consistent Premier League team until this spell after we got promoted in 2013. But Manchester United have always been one of those teams where we're like, oh, bloody hell, we'll be lucky to get a point. Whereas I think that very first win at Old Trafford in Fergie time, with Patrick Van Aanholt scoring the last minute winner, that was where we were like, we don't fear Manchester United anymore. And I shouldn't say that because historically it's never been a happy place for us to go. But since then, it's this sense of, yes, they're still a big club, they're still a threat, but they're not the club that Fergie had left. There's still an air of they've still got it about them to bring in big players and get big money and everything, but there's so much going wrong behind the scenes, and you are trying to rectify that in the last couple of years. Other clubs like us, like Brighton, like Brentford, have said, okay, we can't match them pound for pound in terms of commercial revenue and all that other stuff, but we can bring in players that they'll want and then absolutely extort them for it. I mean, I had a Manchester United fan I know tell me that they wanted to sign Adam Wharton. I went, yeah, okay, but would you sell him to him for 40 million? I says, that gets you his left leg. Keep going. I says, if Carlos Baleba is worth 100 million, Adam Wharton's worth double because Adam Wharton's
100%.
won a major trophy. I'm shameless. I've told this United fan, I says, listen, you're not dealing with a little trophyless club anymore. Now that we've won one FA Cup, albeit it is one FA Cup, I don't care. You want our best players, you've got to pay a premium rate for it.
So coming into this one then, obviously against United, I mean, your form as of recently against United has been very good. We can't even score, let alone get a point or a win against you. So in terms of, levels of confidence, how confident would you be coming into this one?
I should be absolutely boastful here and expect us to get the win, but my fear with Crystal Palace, and this is something that I myself have been notorious for, is that there's always that fear in me that charity professional football club are going to turn up on any given day. What's that? You haven't won in 400 Premier League games? Your star striker hasn't scored all season? Come play charity professional football club. We'll sort you out. And if there's ever a time you're going to get a win against us, it's probably after we get a European hangover. Now, again, because I was dreading that Liverpool game and we saw how that turned out, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm confident we can beat you because you're beatable. Everton proved that. I mean, we lost to them narrowly, but you're beatable. But so are we. We played Bournemouth last month and drew 3-3, and I was sat there thinking, they're a good side. I won't take that from them. But drawing 3-3 at home is painful because there's a part of me that thinks, like, they're not a bad team, but they're not exactly better than us. So, so I don't look at this Manchester United side and say, oh, this is going to be an easy walkover. I'm not that arrogant. I know for a fact that can come back to haunt you massively.
Well, can I ask you this, Nate? If you
Yeah,
were
of course.
now, like I said, we've only been going for a month, so I can guarantee you nothing you say here will help United in any way. But if you were going to line up a United team to create Palace the most problems, where would you think that your weaknesses are? How do you think United can hurt you?
See, it kind of depends on what team Glasner picks, because for the most part, we've really done well in having we lost a key player to injury last season in Sheikh Decore, and Daichi Kamada last season was really hated by the fan base. And then obviously at the back end of this last season and now the start of this season, he's become so crucial to us. I think if you can conquer the midfield battle and get the better of Adam Wharton and Kamada, that's probably an area that we could be a bit worried in.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, look, I am worried about your front line. Cunha and Buemo, they're fantastic signings, and they can hurt the best of teams. But with Mitchell and Munoz, Cunha and Mbeumo would need to have the games of their lives, because Munoz is an absolute warhorse. He just doesn't stop running, and he will torment whoever plays on the left for Man United, because he's relentless every step of the way. He will be right on his neck and making it a nightmare for him. So if you are going to get the best of us, you need to take your chances.
Yeah.
And I don't watch Man United every week, so I can't sit here and say I know how you play. But if you're not finishing your dinner, granted, Mateta's not finishing his dinner lately, so I'm not confident we're going to smack you 2-3-0. But from a United standpoint, I don't think our defence is a worry. And obviously, if Henderson is having, an audition to prove that you never should have sold him, then, I think you need your midfield to have the game of their lives. You need Wharton and Kamara to have off days, because we've kind of been hit and miss in a lot of games lately. So I can't even sit here and say with chest that we're going to really turn it up. But we need to keep the good momentum from the Wolves game, because I was worried about playing them, because it's like, new manager bounce, they haven't won a game all season, they can barely score a goal for love or money. I've been here before. I know exactly what to expect. And to be fair, it was calm. It was light work. I was like, wait, we actually won and I didn't have to worry? No, I don't like it. Where's the double jeopardy? Where's that fear that they're going to score a last-minute equaliser? Because to be fair to Wolves, on another day, they probably could have got something. But, yeah, I mean, it depends on what Palace team turn up after Strasbourg and what United team turns up. Have they learnt their lessons from that Everton game? Because Everton literally shoot themselves in the foot. Should have given you should give you the momentum to have gone and won that game. But obviously not. And I don't
Yeah.
mean to rub salt in the wound, but you know what I'm saying.
I think in the past, when the old school United under Ferguson, whenever we would have a couple of games or a bad defeat or something like that, you always knew back then there would be a reaction. The Ferguson United, there'd be a reaction, and this is what worries us. We're not seeing much of a reaction. A lot of those players, and it's like on Monday night against Everton, there was no intensity. There's no intensity the last few games. And that's what I'm worried about, because I know Palace are a very good team, and I know they will chase like Munoz and Wharton. And I am worried about how we're going to cope. And, that's home or away. And the fact is, it's Selhurst Park. And yeah, I'll be honest with you, 12 o'clock, it could be a bad start to the Sunday. But yeah, but then again, maybe I'm just scudding you a wee bit, but
I actually think the time of the game could play a factor in it as well. Sometimes
it's early.
It's very early, yeah.
Considering Palace have an away game on Thursday, it is early.
Yeah, and one of the things that we ask is that we try to get the fan of the team on the week before and then the week after. So will you come on Monday night, win, lose or draw?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've always, win, lose or draw. I would never hide if we lose.
Yeah.
But I'm the most shameless if we win. So you may have to ban me from the channel if we win.
Do you know what?
Fair warning, I am shameless.
we normally record on a Monday night, and we do our reaction to the weekend's game. But because the game was on Monday night this week, we actually went live straight away after the game for the first time, and we had lined up Everton fans to come on as well.
Two of them,
so we had two Everton fans on, and we couldn't hide away from it. That's part of it. Sure, that's why it's enjoyable. That's why it's So one of the other things we always ask is we look predictions. So and there's no sitting on the fence. So what would you predict then for this weekend's results?
Okay, so it is easy to sit on the fence here and say a boring 1-1 draw or a 0-0 draw and everything, but I have to back my team because I don't look at this badge anymore and think, oh God, I have to hide being a Palace fan. I don't do that anymore. I'm very proud to support this football club. I'm going to back us to win 2-0. Because as I said, I would expect us to be very, very determined to keep the momentum from that Wolves win. I understand that you do have a lot of threats in the team that if we're not careful, you can get some change out of, because let's be fair, you are still a club that shouldn't be underestimated. But I'm going to back Palace to win 2-0. But I wouldn't be shocked if United don't get a reaction, because let's be fair, after that defeat on Monday night, you as fans will think to yourselves, right, we're not expecting anything at Palace, but we want to see, are these players actually going to prove that was just a one-off, that it was a blip or whatever? Because you're under a lot of pressure now. A club like Man United should not be going, with all due respect to us, to Palace away and thinking, we probably won't get a result here. That to even hear that is crazy. Let alone have to see Manchester United fans look at Palace away and say, we might not get anything here. Because that, as you rightly said, the Alex Ferguson era, you're thinking Palace away, yeah, 3 points, no problem.
Yeah,
we can play the B team. It's 3 points, but obviously that time has come and gone, and a lot of clubs like us have caught up to what United were, not necessarily to what United are. But yeah, I have to back my team here, guys. I'm sorry, I'm saying 2-0 Palace.
That's what we expect, really. I mean, I think the games like Palace years ago, yeah, you would go to it and you'd be, but the days of us as United fans expecting, looking at the sheet and saying, oh, we should have 3 points there, 3 points there, those are gone, long gone. And I look at Palace and I just see a really solid outfit that's been just building progression over the last couple of years. So, I mean, look, we haven't won Selhurst Park since lockdown 2020. So,
God,
yeah,
5 years.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
So, but I think I'll give you my prediction now. I think I think the key for United will be Cunha, if he's fit or not. I don't know whether or not. Has any of you heard?
I'm assuming he will be fit. I think maybe only had a bit of a knock against Everton.
Yeah, because he was absent on Monday night, and
there was no rhythm.
He was so badly. I mean, it says a lot about United's team but it really, really, he brings so much to the team. So if Cunha's not in the team, as a Palace fan, I'd be really, really happy, because he really does make a difference, and his link-up play with Umberno as well is completely night and day. So
Get off the fence.
Yeah, Jesus, like, like, listen, I believe there has to be. I think you guys playing in Europe is going to be a factor. The early start's going to be a factor. Um, United have to get a result. They have to get a result, and I'm gonna be brave, and I'm gonna say a 2-1 United win.
Okay. Well, I think personally, I think the Thursday night European game will have an effect on Palace, but not enough. I think we're playing terrible, and I just don't trust our players. And I think Palace probably have a better. Well, no, they're a better team. We just don't look like a team at the moment. I think we're flat, and with no Shesko, with no striker, with no proper striker, and do we even score? I don't know. I think we're going to get beat. I think Selhurst Park will be too hard for us to come away. I would like to get a point. I say 2-1 defeat.
I'll meet you in the middle. I'll be boring here. I'll go for a 0-0 draw. I think
No.
this fixture, it's 12 o'clock on a Sunday. United don't look like they're going to score to save their lives. Palace are playing away to Strasbourg, and I rate Strasbourg a lot. I think actually it's going to be a pretty hard game for you tomorrow night, because I'm looking through the squad. There's a couple of very good players in that Strasbourg team, so I think that game will take a lot out of us. The fact it's early on a Sunday, we're not playing good whatsoever. I think it's going to be a boring draw match. It's going to be 0-0 here. But as you did say, Nate, it's going to be a case of, if United do need to win this one, they need to take their chances, because I remember back to last season, we drew 0-0 at Selhurst Park, and I can remember having brilliant chances like Garnacho. We hit the crossbar in the first half, for example. We had many of those chances throughout the game, we just didn't take them, and ultimately we drew the game 0-0, and it was a fair result because we did take our chances and we weren't good enough then to win the match. So taking chances will be big. However, I just can't see us scoring at the minute, and I think the Strasbourg game will take a lot out of you, so I'll go for a boring 0-0 draw here.
Right, there we go. There we go. And one last thing here, and I want to ask you something about Henderson, because whenever he was at United, I don't know what actually you guys think about this, but I know my thoughts on him was that we had De Gea at the time, and I didn't like Henderson. It wasn't that I didn't think he was a good goalie. I just thought he was incredibly cocky.
There was an arrogance.
There was an arrogance that I just did not like about him. But I think he's gone to Crystal Palace, and he's obviously done really, really well. But
Yeah.
how do Palace fans rate Henderson?
Right. So when Dean Henderson arrived, a lot of us were questioning the logic, because we'd already signed Sam Johnston from West Brom a couple of years beforehand, and Sam Johnston was quite good for Palace. It was very rare that we would sit there and say that Sam Johnston was a bad option, because bear in mind, we'd done well to get Julian Speroni for as long as we did, because obviously he's a club legend, and we adore Speroni. Then we had Wayne Hennessy, and the less said about him, the better. I mean, I still class him as a football terrorist, and I will stay die on that hill if I have to. I can't forgive him for that horrible goal conceded away at Villa in 2016. I still can't get over that. And then we brought in Vicente Guaita, who made me realise that there actually are functioning goalkeepers that don't have poppadoms for hands, because that's what Wayne Hennessy had, poppadom hands.
Sounds like Onana.
Oh, no. Andre Onana has a problem with his hands, but he actually has hands. Wayne Hennessy had poppadoms for hands. And then obviously we brought in Vicente Guaita, we then brought Jack Butland, and then Sam Johnston. And so to bring in Dean Henderson, a lot of us were questioning it. We were like, why are we spending so much money on a goalkeeper that we don't really need? But Sam Johnston gets injured, and it's this sliding doors moment where Dean Henderson has the game of his career, I think, at home to Manchester City. And the City fans after the game were saying it would be a bloody rag to bloody turn up against us and play out of his skin. And from then on, like, he had a man of the match performance against Brighton last season, which we adored him for, because to watch them lot say, oh, imagine they've got England's the number 2 goalkeeper behind Pickford. I went, I think he could give Pickford a run for his money. Palace fans love him, especially after the heroics of the FA Cup final. I mean, granted, he probably should have been sent off. I'll freely admit that. I think very fortunate not to have been shown a straight red, but considering the decisions that we haven't got over the years, I'm like, somehow I'm not mad at getting away with murder, because to this day I still think Mark Clattenburg should have played advantage for Connor Wickham against United. But Fergie paying off the refs may have helped. I mean, brown envelope, because Wickham was through on goal, but blow back for a foul that was never there.
We're not talking about the past. Remember, we're not going back to the past. We have to stay to the present.
Oh, no, hold on. David Beckham was the 1990s, was it not? Connor Wickham was 2016.
Here, look, if we're going to talk about the past here, I just want to show you one of my wee friends here.
Oh, that's nice. How
many of these do we have?
Fair play.
But here,
funnily enough, whereabouts is that title now, folks?
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
It's at the ground who have just seen PSV win 4-1.
Yeah. The current champions are just watching Stevie G here talking about.
One last wee question. Actually, you're talking about the likes of your players Gehi and Wharton and the likes, and maybe not being overly concerned if they do leave anymore, because you're kind of hoping that the club is recruiting well. What would your thoughts be about Glasner being poached potentially? But you'd be obviously Glasner. He's proven himself to be a fantastic manager. He's really doing some a sterling job at Selhurst Park. I mean, he will be in the. A lot of clubs will be looking at him. Probably United as well.
Look, for definite. But the thing with that is that Glasner lied to us anyway. When he first came in to replace Roy Hodgson, he said he's not a magician. And out of nowhere, we went from looking like nailed on relegation certs to finishing above Brighton, and they had nothing to say to us. It's like, finished below Palace. And then the season after that lovely little FA Cup that, Brighton have never won. And the last time they were in the final, you lot beat them. So I was like, actually, you know what, United? You stopped football hell from happening, because them lot winning a trophy is just hell. It's just hell. I mean, you lot beating Millwall in 2004 was nice. It's like, okay, football makes sense again, because Millwall in a cup final was just, wait, what? But no, look, if Glasner goes, it will be hard to swallow, because he has transformed how we see our club.
Yeah.
You have to remember that until we'd won the FA Cup, there's only two teams in South London that have won it. And both of those were before the turn of the century. Charlton in 1947 and Wimbledon in 88. So for us now to be on that list of South London teams with a major trophy, Mill will have to look at us and go, oh, bloody hell, we'll never hear the end of this. Yeah. And as for that lot on the South Coast, the only thing they can throw at us is Europa League, and we can say, that's nice, but where's your trophy? It doesn't matter what they throw at us, we can still say, but where's your trophy?
Yeah.
And no, winning the transfer window or being spreadsheet champions isn't a trophy. Stop sounding like Arsenal fans, because that's what they're sounding like now, is Arsenal fans. We won the transfer window. That's great, but it ain't a trophy.
Well, we had a Brighton fan on about a month ago. We'll have to get him on with you for a live debate.
There's no debate. I'll just say to him, where's your FA Cup?
Yeah.
Show me a picture of Lewis Dunk holding a trophy, and I don't mean the Sussex Senior Cup.
He was actually living in Australia. He came on at 3:00 in the morning to talk to us. He was proper diehard Brighton fan too. He got up at 3:00 in the morning to come on and talk to us.
Okay, so when I hear the words proper diehard Brighton fan, I assume he's either a Chelsea fan or a Liverpool fan, and Brighton are a second team. Because there's no such thing as a diehard Brighton fan. I know that for a fact.
Love it.
Guys, I told you, I'm shameless. I've told you, I'm shameless.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yep.
Well, here, tell me this: where will you be watching the game?
So I will be going straight from work to watch the game at the Woolshed in Dublin. So I'm going to go straight from work and watch the game. So I'll be keeping this jersey with me as soon as I leave work. I'll be straight out to watch it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, because it's going to be a tough game, and you want to be playing tough games in Europe. I mean, I know people are saying, it's the Conference League, but listen, we win it, it's Europa League football next season.
It's a European trophy.
Nottingham Forest get relegated, and that big fat Marinakis, BASTARD, all of a sudden starts crying. Where's your emails, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Enjoy that dead championship. Enjoy playing Derby County and them lot, because I don't hate Nottingham Forest fans personally, right? I get it. They benefited from Parish not reading his emails, but this Marinakis guy, the hatred is on another level. So when the HF unveiled that banner in the Homesdale for the Forest game at the start of the season, I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with that because they're saying he's not done all these things. So we got a fine for telling the truth.
That's it.
FA, you may want to look into that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I must look into that, see what that's about, actually. Do you know what that's about, Kenny?
No, not really.
I'll have to look it up. We'll definitely look it up. We'll add it in a week.
So just look up Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest TIFO, and you'll see that everything on the TIFO says that Marinakis is not involved in these things.
Although it is suspicious, though, because, you know, the whole Gibbs White thing, he was about to go to Spurs, and all of a sudden he signs a new contract, and the whole video of him saying, I'm happy to stay, it's all a bit suspicious, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap it up, I just need to tell you, that was the single worst thing they ever did, because Marinakis was quoted as saying, at the end of the day, we always win. It took them how long to win a game? And I'm looking at it thinking, you always win.
Yeah.
Okay. But Ange Postecoglou couldn't buy a win. Sean Dyche has to lie, cheat, and steal to get a win, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, Marinakis, you may want to rethink that, mate. But I have no hate towards Nottingham Forest as a club or their fans, but their owner, I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy. He's up there with Tony Bloom, who's the Brighton owner, for reference. I don't like him either.
He's on the list as well.
Hey, of course he's on the list. If you own that club, bro, no, I can't. I can't even be complimentary about Brighton. That's why I can't touch a Tesco bag, because the blue and white stripes. Oh no, can't do it.
We have a soft spot for Welbeck, but you know we like Welbeck.
Who?
Donny Welbeck for Brighton.
Who? that ex-Arsenal Man United player, right? The guy that's
Man United,
better than
Arsenal.
the guy that's better than Mateta, right? Except he's
I
washed
debate
up.
Oh,
that now.
No, I know. Mateta's a beast, and he will be a danger on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll have
he
to lock
certainly
him
does
up.
play Man United. I know that much for a fact, because I had the pleasure of watching a United fan who I used to work with. He texted me, "You're going to lose today," and I said, "We'll see. We shall see. Come the full-time whistle." Strange enough, he wouldn't take my phone calls. He wouldn't take my phone calls, and I had to sing him a little song afterwards. But yeah,
Must have just had a
look,
bad
guys.
connection.
Yeah.
Oh no! I know where to find him. So I hunted him down like a dog. But no, look, I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday. It's always a good occasion playing Man United. I hope none of our fans sing songs about the Munich disaster, because it's never nice when fan bases do that. But also, United fans need to stop singing about Cantona, because that does get up the backs of the Palace fans.
Did it
I
do?
get it.
All right, very good. It's good to know. They actually. So is that a regular thing then, or is it just they're singing Cantona's name, or are they saying?
Well, look, so not to go into too much detail, but a lot of Palace fans tie the death of a Palace fan in the 95 FA Cup semi-final to Cantona's actions months before. They're not saying Cantona directly killed the guy,
Okay.
but there's thugs that ran into the Palace fans and all this other stuff. So Paul Nixon is his name. We're all saying, look, we understand that Cantona's a big part of your history. He won you titles, he won you FA Cups. He was part of that fantastic Ferguson team. But to us, his name represents a dark moment in our club's history. We'd rather not have you remind us of something that really shouldn't be sung about, because our own fans are condemning chants about Munich. We're like, listen, we're not that club. We don't death mock. We never sing about stuff like that to Liverpool fans. So we shouldn't do it to you either.
Yeah.
But when a small section of the United fans are singing Cantona's name, we understand it, but we're like, can you not do it at Selhurst Park, please? I get that his famous Kung Fu kick happened here, but to us, that has a different connotation.
I've never heard that before.
Meaning.
Have you ever heard that before?
No, it's interesting to hear that, and I wonder, do you think the away fans are aware of that? You know, of the connotation of Cantona, or are they just singing it because of the Kung Fu kick?
Look, unfortunately, because it's one so-called Crystal Palace fan, it's not going to get much broadcast coverage because, right, we're not a massive club or anything. But again, because we don't death mock, we don't like what happened to our fan base. people celebrate Cantona and what he did for United, and we get that. He's a massive part of your history, as I said. But to us, it's a bit of a dagger because we're like, we've lost somebody who should have been there in May of this year celebrating us winning the FA Cup. And people that knew Paul Nixon actually went to where he died up near Walsall, where the game was being played, I think, at Villa Park back in the day, and actually laid down a wreath saying, I think 30 years later, your spirit can fly at Wembley. Because naturally it would have meant the world to someone like Paul Nixon to see Palace win the FA Cup, because obviously 1990 happened, 2016 happened. Now, again, I'm not saying don't celebrate what Cantona did for Man United. He's a massive part of your club's history. But to us, it's a totally different... It's very much like someone mocking Munich for a Manchester United fan, mocking Hillsborough for a Liverpool fan. It's in bad taste, and it will get up people's backs in South London. They're like, don't do it here.
Jeez, that's mad. That is
no,
absolutely mental.
yeah,
honestly, that's
new
so
sauce.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I can look it up in more detail as well, because
I mean, as I said, I'm not saying don't sing those songs. By all means, sing those songs, but just don't do it around the ground.
No, I don't mean that.
It's a tight packed community, and people look at you and go, "Really? This ain't the place to do it." There's other clubs in London where they're not, but South London's not a nice place. It's a hostile atmosphere. Particularly when stuff like that happens, because some of Paul Nixon's friends go to every home game. So when Man United are in town, they're always watching and listening, because they sit next to the away fans. So they're going to be interested to see, are those chants going to crop up? And to be fair, the last time I was at a United game, I think Palace United game, quite a lot of people in the United end were trying not to sing that, because it had gone around on a lot of United forums. Ideally, don't sing Cantona songs in the ground.
That's what I was thinking. It is, yeah. So the away fan base are aware, and they're aware of the connotation, and they shouldn't, they probably shouldn't be singing it. But that's fair. That's fair enough.
So for the most part,
but if they're aware of that, they shouldn't. Then yeah.
Oh no! Look, come here. A lot of people were acknowledging, right, to Palace fans, this is a totally different thing, and that they're not going to be happy. But that didn't stop pockets of the away end singing, ooh, Cantona and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
We knew that was going to happen, but I think a lot of people copped. Palace don't sing about Munich. We don't sing about Hillsborough. We don't bring up things that are raw to the people of that club. Like when we played Liverpool at the end of last season, they were shocked that there was no talk of, murderers, victims, this, that, the other. I get for you guys, it's a totally different kettle of fish. They're your bitter enemies. You hate them. There's so much history there and whatever. But they were like, they're one of the few clubs that never bring that up, because we know how that feels. We know how it feels to see someone be mocked for something that you're like, that you never do. You never do that sort of stuff. By all means, you've only won one FA Cup. By all means, take the piss out of that. But nobody can say anything to us in Wars. Like, don't care. Life peaked on the 17th of May, because ever since then it's like, so this is what winning trophies is like. I like this. This is good. Because I still have to wake up in the morning and go, did that actually happen?
Oh.
I'm still in disbelief, and it's down near the end of the year at this point. So I don't mean to cut you any further, but that's just to understand.
Yeah, I think maybe we're... It's really interesting. I would be shocked if there was United fans like going to places like Liverpool and singing anything about. Unless maybe I've never been to the away Premier League game as a United fan.
It's hard to know. Like it's hard. You don't know.
That's
I know. But
we must look into that as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like it's really interesting to get this kind of insight. So
yeah,
right. Well, listen, we'll end it there. And good luck tomorrow night. No luck to you on Sunday. But we'll wish you luck tomorrow night.
Yeah, I hope you will.
This will actually go out on Thursday, so it'll be out tomorrow, so before your game anyway. And look forward to talking to you next Monday night, Nate. And thanks for coming on tonight.
Sure.
Really appreciate the insight.
No problem. Before I go, nothing but 90 minutes of pain, suffering, misery, and hella red cards and injuries. In all fairness, enjoy the game on Sunday. It'll be a good game.
You do.
And do us a favour. When you do play Brighton again, turn up against them, please. There's nothing worse than watching that. Really, the one thing I ask Man United to do is just turn up and make their weekend miserable, because their suffering gives me joy. That's all I ask. I don't care if you lose to City. I don't care if you lose to Arsenal. I don't care about you and your big games. Just don't lose to them lot. because they're insufferable when they beat Man United, because you'd swear they're bigger than you. It's like, your little bro to every other team in the league apart from Fulham and Bournemouth. Come on, man. No.
We'll do our
Honestly,
best.
no. Thank you very much.
No worries. All right, then.
Hey,
Have a
no
good one.
worries, man.
Speak to you next week. Good luck. Good
See
luck.
you
Good
later.
luck.
See you later.
All right. So thank you to Nate. Just that was insightful.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah,
I actually,
yeah.
I
Big time.
actually feel really bad because the first thing I did in that podcast was point out that I had a massive Air Cantona flag behind
Oh
me.
yeah, you started.
And I
it.
didn't know. I have no idea that.
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was,
no.
that's mad.
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
connotations.
Yeah.
Must actually talk to Lucas about that.
Jeez.
See if he knows about that.
Yeah.
The Palace
It'd be
man.
interesting.
We'll see what
Yeah,
that story is.
but it's
as
also
well, because-
it's also interesting to know because in the future, if you ever are at an away game, it's good to know these things. You don't walk about with a retro top with Cantona 7 on the back.
Oh, flipping hell! Like,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
Like, I mean,
interesting.
I would imagine that there's I can't say the majority, but I would imagine United fans that are at Selhurst Park singing "Ooh ah, ooh ah, Cantona" are doing it because he's associated with Selhurst Park and the kick, kung fu
Yeah,
kick.
yeah, exactly.
But like,
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna look into that
Yeah,
and find out
yeah.
what that story is. And but yeah, listen, guys, we've been chatting to him for quite a while there tonight, but we'll have some closing thoughts here. As Killian, what do you want to say?
Oh, it's time for the Genius Corner, is it?
Genius Corner, yeah. Okay, all right, okay. We'll go straight
well-
to Genius Corner here. We didn't have it for the last
Well,
game.
we did.
no.
We did have the Genius Corner. I
Yeah.
stepped in last week. Do you not remember? No.
Oh,
Yeah, we didn't have
yeah.
the Genius Corner. Right, Genius
Well,
Corner. Up.
This will be a bit prolonged because obviously I'll have my own way inside in Palace, and then there's actually is something about United that I do want to have a wee bit of a rant on. So here goes anyway. So Crystal Palace, past 5 matches. Obviously, this is before the Strasbourg match, but before the Strasbourg match, past 5 matches have been unbeaten. Last match, of course, was a 2-0 victory away to Wolves. Before that, then it was the derby against Brighton and home turf. It finished 0-0 there. Before that, their last match in Europe before Strasbourg defeated AZ Alkmaar 3-1 on home turf, which was a brilliant win, of course, for the side as well. And then before that match, then of course a 2-0 win at home to Brentford, as well as a 3-0 win away to Liverpool in the EFL Cup. Last 5 matches then between the two sides. Last game, of course, was a 2-0 defeat at Old Trafford, a game which I was unfortunately out of course. And then last season too, we would also draw 0-0 away from home. The previous season then, we played them 3 times. There was, of course, the infamous 4-0 defeat there, 4-0 thrashing at Selhurst Park. We also lost them 1-0 on home turf. Palace's first win at Old Trafford in decades anyway. And then, of course, before that then, actually in the exact same week as that 1-0 defeat for United, of course, on home turf, we did play Palace 4 days before that at Old Trafford in the EFL Cup, and we did win there 3-0. 3 players about out for then in this Crystal Palace team. Starting off then with Maxence Lacroix at the back line. Of course, Lacroix, I think he's a brilliant player, absolute stalwart at the back line, brilliant pace, brilliant in the air, of course, brilliant overall defensively, and I do believe we definitely could struggle to get a sniff in front of goal with a player like him, of course, defending alongside the likes of Chris Richards and Mark A, of course, Dean Henderson and that's as well. Adam Morton then, of course, in midfield, a player who I do admire quite a lot, a fantastic player as well, and I mean, it's going to be very hard for us to get any grasp or any hold in midfield with players like him, of course. Can compare him to the likes of Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes, who, like, they're not too bad. However, compared to Adam Morton, they're just not really on that level anymore. But Casemiro definitely was past Morton's level at the minute. One day, however, he's past that now. Bruno Fernandes can't play in the pivots, so in my opinion, we're going to find it really hard in midfield, and especially with a player like Adam Morton. And to finish off then, Ismaila Sarr, definitely a fantastic forward there, of course, turns up week in, week out, game in, game out for Crystal Palace. A fantastic winger, very good pace about him, always good for a goal or two, very creative as well. It's almost as if players like Eze and Elisa never even left with someone like Sarr in their team as well. So definitely watch out for him as well. But I suppose on my rant then, I've been thinking over the past number of weeks, and I'm just thinking about overall the football I've been watching. I've been comparing United matches I've been watching with matches I've been watching as a neutral, of course, like the Champions League on tonight, pure entertainment there. And I suppose that is where my main rant does stem from, should I say, and it's from entertainment. And I'm talking about United's performances game in, game out, because, I mean, have any of yous watching United this season? I know they've had a couple of good results. However, has any performance out there really excited you?
Uh,
Be no.
Ironically, the performance in the first day of the season against Arsenal was
It
when
was
we lost
promising,
was
very
probably
promising. Yeah.
the most exciting in the
Hmm.
sense of you could see something developing, or you
Yeah.
thought we could. But no, I've seen no only individuals, Cunha and Burma, but no.
And that's
Yes.
my point. Like, I mean, Ruben Amorim's football, I'm sorry. I mean, he won 3 games in a row, yes, in the Premier League, but so what? I think his football at the minute anyway, and I mean, his football in general disgusts me. I'm sorry. Like, that United team, when I watch them play, I don't get any enjoyment watching them play. It doesn't even look like they're playing football. They're just so unstructured. There seems to be no rhythm to our games whatsoever. There's no structure, obviously. There's no momentum behind us at all. We're just sort of going through the motions almost. And it's again, it reminds me of Ten Hag when we just played without a system, without an actual style of play. Well, we have a system in place. It's just we don't have a style of play. That's the case with Ten Hag there. And we sacked Ten Hag for Amram because we thought Amram would bring a style of play with him. And we're a year deep now. We actually are exactly 1 year deep in the Amram spell. And we are yet to see his style of play. He's stuck with this system for an entire year. He's made us suffer for an entire year with this system, and yet we are still not seeing the style of play. And it almost feels like what Ten Hag was saying. As United manager, he would never be able to implement his style of play at United. It seems like Amram has hit the same thing, but I don't care. Still we need to see United play at least half exciting football. Like, give us at least something every game which can get you at the edge of the seat. Because I can't remember the last time I was actually on the edge of my seat. Well, maybe the Liverpool away match because of how high stakes it was and how much of a brilliant victory it was there too. But I mean, I can't remember the last time when you're extremely excited to watch United because you knew you were going to see us playing fantastic fluid football. I can't remember the last time I can't remember the last time I went into a United match expecting to see exciting fluid football. And I mean, when I compare it to like pretty much every other team that I see, when I'm watching, whether it's in the Champions League or the Premier League matches, maybe even, I don't really watch much lower league football, but I'm sure I've seen people online saying they go to their local non-league team and they see them play better football than this United team. That's all I really want to see, of course. I want to see us play exciting football. I'd rather win a game 4-3 or 5-4 than 1-0. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I just want a bit more chaos, a bit more excitement, more goals in this, of course, because at the minute, like, we're just an incredibly boring team. I would even argue to say we're the most boring team in world football at the minute. It's that bad. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest, of course. I thought, we're just not playing good football. I mean, we're not playing good football. We're not playing exciting football whatsoever. So static, so boring. And to be honest, I just wanted to change.
Well, the genius is not holding back, and I can feel. So, what are you saying? Are you saying that we need to change?
That's the thing. I mean, do we change? Who do we bring in? That's the thing now, of course. I mean, I'd almost go in for Solskjaer to the end of the season. If things
What?
don't, if I mean, okay, well, maybe it's a bit harsh and suggesting Amram should go now. Maybe if things just continue to dip and dip, because I think that Everton game is a sign of bad things to come. Maybe I'm speaking too harshly, but I think it's a sign of bad things to come. Because I'm sorry, we had 25 shots against Everton and we didn't really score whatsoever. And that was with Ahmad and Mbeumo. What are we going to do when those players leave on international break for AFCON for a month? And I know we've got Cunha and Cheshire to come back, but I'm sorry, I've just got little faith.
Right. Okay, right. I've listened enough. Okay, all right. So yeah, look, I know what you're saying. I'm sure you know how pissed off I was Monday night. But we have to stick with him for now. This club needs stability. I totally agree with you. I think we're playing crap football. I think he needs to show himself to be more tactically aware as a manager. I was reading reports today saying that he's not wedded to his system and he will change. Is this him buckling now under the pressure that he realizes? But I think we need stability. Look, we had players like Garnacho in our team, Jadon Sancho, Rashford. They're all in our squad last season. They're all pile of shit. Okay, we had to get rid of them, and we're not even rid of them. We've got rid of Anthony, we've got rid of
Garnacho.
Garnacho, and
Rashford and Sancho.
Rashford and Sancho, boomerang
Mhm.
players. They're going to come back again.
No one wants Sancho. That's the thing. He's that bad.
He's
Nobody actually wants
useless.
to keep
Yeah,
him.
he's absolutely useless, and he doesn't care. He's not a professional. So look, there's so much wrong with this team, and we all know that the club is rotten from the top. I mean, we are rotten under the Glazers, and it's so easy. And Amarim is not helping himself. Okay, but there's a lot has to be said about these players. These players need to show some balls on the pitch. That performance on Monday was a disgrace. It was an absolute disgrace. And if I was Amarim, I would have been taken off as many as I could. But who was on the bench? There's nobody on the bench.
I tell you, Shea Lacey, academy player. No, I know.
Yes, but academy players should be getting more of a chance. But Shea Lacey's never played first.
But
Where's Cheeto, Obi, whatever? He played.
I'll tell you something. I guarantee you, if Shea Lacey got 10 minutes, we would have been more excited in the 10 minutes we've seen of Shea Lacey than all the United players who played in that match combined.
I feel the club need to support Amarim more, and I could regret saying this because I know Liverpool fans are like, oh, he's doing a great job, keep him, and blah blah blah.
Well, I can't speak too much.
Yeah, exactly. We're saying the same about Slot now, but the reality is, we need stability, and we need to back him, and we need players we need players to actually start like looking like they give a crap.
And I tell you what though, I mean, I do think Amarim needs to start turning to some academy players. I'm not saying he needs to be playing 5 or 6 academy players now, even if it's just 1 or 2, 3 at a push, because United's built on an academy. The foundations of this club are built in the academy, and I see the academy results pretty much every week, and they're dominating the youth leagues. They're absolutely dominating.
But United as a club as well, we need better wing backs, and we let your guy Fernandez go, and now he's at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Do you know who's at fault there? There's something rotten about the club. Is that Amarim? Was it his decision? I don't think so. We wanted to release some capital. What did we get for him? About a couple of million?
4 or 5 million.
Yeah. There's just something. There's more to this than Amarim. And to be quite honest, I think we need to go out. Look, Bruno Fernandes, I've said it before, Bruno Fernandes, this has to be his last season.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Get money from him.
Unless we start playing him as number 10 or he's not a centre midfielder, and Casemiro's on his swan song, last dance. So look, we need 2 midfielders. So we need to back him, and to be quite honest, we need to buy well in January because it's a World Cup summer. So we need to start doing things. And I don't know if the Jason Wilcox and Barada, I don't know if they know what they're doing, to be honest. So anyway, but that's my thoughts.
I'm just looking at the fixtures up to Christmas, right? Okay, so a Liverpool fan was asking me today about Amarin, and I was kind of saying what you were saying there about, like, we need to give him, we need the stability and things like that there. And he had up until not the most recent international break, but the one before, where the next 5 games, I had said to you guys that if he didn't get at least 6 points out of that 15, then I would have been, he has to go. And he got like 8 or 9 or whatever. And that started the run, right? I'm looking at the fixtures we have here up to Christmas. Okay, so Palace, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home, Aston Villa away. Okay, so including this weekend's games, that's 15 points up for grabs between now and Christmas, right? I'm going to do something similar and say, how many points does he have to get in my head for? And I'm looking there and I'm thinking West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth.
10.
Well, based on how we're playing at the moment, I would actually think 9 would be enough for me, right? Yeah. 10 would be ideal. Obviously, would take more, but I think 9 would be enough for me. And anything less, but it's a good way of marking it, because, like, I think anything less than that. But again, what you're saying, Killian, 100% agree. The standard, I just don't understand the mentality of the players, and you know, I find it hard to believe that it's just the manager, right? Because we've had this with Ten Hag, we've had this,
It's the
you know, it's the
players.
same
It's the
thing, it's the same
players.
players. You look at that team that went out on Monday night. It was much closer to the team that went out into the against Spurs in the European Cup final, because we didn't have Cunha, we didn't have Shesko on the pitch, and you know, at the end, I don't even really, to be honest with you, I didn't even really think we were going to get into this tonight, because Monday night was that depressing that uh, I don't even want to use my own energy to go in and say this is what we need to do. What I need to see on Sunday is I need to see passion.
Yeah.
I need to see, like, Nate was talking there about getting slide tackles, and you know, I need to see that.
And I think Palace away is the perfect fixture for you to show that passion and to show that fight, in my opinion.
If we play Casemiro and Bruno as the two centre midfielders, we're beat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what he said there, you know, whenever he said, like, whenever I asked him the question, what can United do to cause problems? And he was saying, win the midfield.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Like,
Forget about it.
But one thing's for sure, listen, I'll always go into games optimistic, because again, with this United team, you just don't know who's going to turn up. I know I've predicted there a 2-1 United win. You know,
It's optimistic.
it is, but like, listen,
Can happen.
that's what it's about.
Yeah.
But listen, guys, we'll finish it there tonight. If you're watching this, guys, like and subscribe to our channel. We were kind of hoping to get near 50 subscribers this side of Christmas, and we're at 41 now, so we're getting pretty close. Give us some feedback as well about what you thought about the live stream after the game on Monday night, and if you'd like to see more of that. It was good. I liked it in certain ways. Actually, it was the best part of my Monday night. The game was that bad. It was actually the best part of it. But like I said, we'll finish there. We've made our predictions. Anything else you just want to say before we finish?
No, here, fingers crossed that we get something. I'll take a point.
Hopefully it's not a Palace win, otherwise the house will be unbearable Sunday.
Yeah. We'll have to
good.
see if Lucas will have to come on sometime to talk about Crystal Palace, but you don't think he's... No.
Can't see it happening.
Can't see it happen. All right. Listen, guys, thanks for coming. We'll get this out, get this online tomorrow. Let's hope for better days. Hope that we can see a performance. We have to see a performance.
Yeah.
Show us that you care. Show us that you want to wear the jersey, and get stuck in. Get stuck in. You know?
Yeah.
Come on, United.
Conrads.